stuff. Nick, whenever you're ready, mate.
Okay. Régis, can we go back to the game at Kenilworth Road at Luton that night? And you put in a very impressive defensive display, especially in the first half, against a very physical, big, strong Luton team. At the weekend, you said that's perhaps the weakness in this team at the moment, is the physicality. Do you look back to that game at Luton and try to think, right, where have we let it slip, if you like, in terms of dealing with teams that are physical?
I don't know if it's really a weakness, but it's just a question of style. And you have different style of play, and you have to have the players to play this ambition. And when we have to face with teams who has this big physical attributes, sometimes we can struggle, but at the same time we have the potential, the solutions in the team to solve many problems against this kind of team. Probably against Watford, because it was a problem. We lost a little bit our organization, and because at home we want to be dominant, and when we have to run after the ball for a long period, probably we rather than focusing on our organization, we tried to run more, and we created like an unbalance and an advantage for the opponent. So the game at Luton was exactly with this idea. I think we were well organized, really well organized, and from that foundation, it was important to fight, and we did it, I think, properly. But if it's only 1v1 everywhere on the pitch, I think it's not our main strength.
Were you disappointed then at the weekend that you didn't press home your advantage when you'd scored? You had a little spell where you created a few chances, but then, as you said in the last few weeks, you need to be more clinical, and are you disappointed that didn't transpire?
Yeah, it's just a good reminder that because our organization is still fragile, and sometimes it's not because we are lazy, but it's the opposite. We want to do more, and because we want to run more, to want to press more, maybe we'll create our weakness like that. And I think it happened during the first half especially, and to be fair, it wasn't easy to assess in real time, because it was really unusual, and we needed the video session with Dan, with Luke, with the players, to understand what happened exactly. And it's just a subtle change, but it can provoke many different outcomes, and it was the case.
I touched on it after the game on Saturday, the absence of Joe. I think you do miss his physical presence in midfield. I assume he's okay, is it, for Luke?
Yeah, it will be okay.
So it will be an asset if he's in the team, having him back?
Yeah, sure, because we need our good players. But at the same time, we spoke a lot about this idea. We need depth in the squad, and sometimes you can make a step back, because obviously, for example, Salis or Jan or Eli or Milan, who played some minutes during this game, they don't have the same level of references with the others, because they don't have the same experience, shared experiences together. But to be competitive in that league, we need everyone, and sometimes it's okay. Probably we'll have different situation where it won't be automatic, because we have to live this experience together to learn. But at the same time, it will be good for the future, because we'll have more players involved in different phases. Now they understand by experiences what does it mean for, because it's not only on the video, it's real life. And so for that, I think it's good, because I think it's like a reinforcement of our squad. Even if the level is a little bit lower, it's good for the future.
And do you have a decision to make about who plays centre half? Because you mentioned on Saturday about Dan Ballard. being brought on because of his physicality, because of his height and what he offers you. But if you want to keep Ballard in for a team like Luton, who makes way?
Problem for the coach. And it's good, it's a good problem because I think Ballard is in a very good place, and it's good because he didn't play a lot last couple of weeks, but he's still involved, and it's very important for the team spirit. And we know that we need competition to push everyone in the team, and at the same time, if one player is struggling a little bit, we have another one ready to play, and I'll have a good question to solve, and it's good for the performance of the team, I think.
Is that a difficult conversation to have with someone?
Not really, because I think they are smart. They have a shared goal. It's not an individual goal, it's a shared goal, and you need maturity to understand that, but sometimes you can be mature at 17, and you can. Some other players sometimes are not mature at 30 or 34. So here in the dressing room, I think the ideas are very clear, and it's my job, and I think they can understand my way of working.
And what do you expect of Luton? It's a different coach from the last time out, which was a long time ago. There's been a lot of water under the bridge since then. What are you expecting of Luton?
No gift. It's always like that, and we have to play our best football. Probably they will be focused on their style of play, because when you struggle, it's always better to focus on your strength, on your usual way of playing. So I think they should be direct, because they are very good. It doesn't mean that they will kick all the balls, but it means that they have the strength, and they are very good in set pieces as well. So the style of play should be the whole picture of the game. After that, we want to play with our identity, and we want to impose our way of playing, so it depends on us.
Hi Régis, Adam Samuel from BBC Luton. It's nice to meet you. Back at Kenilworth Road, Alan Brown played a key role in the first goal for yourselves, and he's set to play for the under-21s later. What would a successful outcome look like for him, and how close is he to returning to the first team?
Very close. It's a good news for us, and yes, we need his experience in the dressing room, and when one player is missing, we can understand how important it is for the team in different situations. So touchwood, now we have mainly our players are always ready to play, and we'll need maybe 2 or 3 weeks to have a full squad.
And Romain Wandel scored the second goal that night at Kenilworth Road. How important is it to have him and Brown return for the promotion push?
To win the next game. To start. It is important as well, because we need wingers, and we know that on the left side right now, Enzo is playing in that position, and it's not his main role. I think he's doing well, but with specific wingers, Romain and Tommy have this personality, this style of play to play many 1v1 situations, and they are good in the finishing zone as well. So it's very important to be clinical, and these two players will be very important for next stage of the season. Yeah.
You've backed Salis to get back up to speed after his long layoff. With Joe Bellingham returning to midfield, could that create issues for Salis getting minutes that he needs?
Not really, because now it's possible with more depth in our squad to manage the game differently. The first part of the season, and I spoke with Job and Dan this week, for example, we said that they played so many games, so they were tired sometimes during the Boxing Day, for example, but they had to play full games. So now we'll have probably the option to manage differently with maybe one player can start until the 65th minute, and we'll have another fresh player on the bench ready to play with a different style of play, with full intensity, and it's good for the performance of the team.
And just finally then, looking towards tomorrow's game, when you're coming up against a team like Luton but going through a transition with a new manager, what kind of tactical considerations do you have to keep in mind?
Unpredictability. It's the main point, I think, because we have to expect everything. We know their style of play, and I think they should stick in their style, because when you struggle, you focus on your strength, but at the same time, they can try many things differently. So it's football. We have to face with different scenarios, and trust our game model, trust our good qualities, but at the same time, we have to manage different situations in real time.
Okay, thank you, Régis.
Régis, Luton seems a strange situation. 12 months ago, quite a lot of those players were doing very well in the Premier League and giving a good account of themselves, and yet the team seems to have struggled this season. Do you think, does that make them a dangerous opponent?
Sure. And it's always difficult to understand the dynamic. Depends on so many things. Sometimes it's just the level of one player, because the dynamic can be improved just because of decision making, because of finishing zone, I don't know. And but they have good quality, sure. They have good experience, sure. They are struggling, sure. But we know that they will react. I don't know when. So it depends on us to keep our level and to make it the most difficult as possible.
Defensively, you've been really pretty good all season, but the last 2-3 games conceded a few goals. Is there anything there that worries you, or do you think that has just been the individual situations?
Yeah, it's clear. We spoke about this with the players. We created a good level of the danger, I think, for the last 15 games. But the last period, maybe the last 3 games, we conceded more chances. And sometimes it was individual mistakes. Sometimes it was according to a specific style of play in transition, especially. So it's a focus for us to protect our goal and to avoid conceding too many chances. Yeah.
And just last from me, mentioned Romain, mentioned Tommy. How close are they getting?
So Romain now is training with the team, full sessions, and Tommy probably will need 1 more week to be with the team with full contact training.
Régis, just going back to Watford, clearly there's disappointment there because you didn't win the game, and a game you would have liked to have won. Then there's also elation in the fact that you managed to rescue a draw late on, and then you also could have won, so that's a bit of frustration. So what's the message to the players after that, after you've had all those sort of emotions in the last sort of 10 minutes essentially?
So we had many conversations before because we didn't finish properly the game. Sometimes we didn't start properly the game. We were good in these 2 parts against Watford. But the first half was a little bit strange because I think, first of all, to be fair, Watford were good, and we have to accept that a team, even at home, can play good football, and they were good, and with good qualities, with individualities, with power, with the ability to dribble, like with many players. So we have to accept that. But at home, I think because we are still a young team, when we struggle to press the opponent, probably we lost our patience, and we disorganized our system, our structure, just by this frustration. And it's not an easy task because they are very proactive. They want to show their good qualities. They want to be good in front of their fans. But at the same time, sometimes you just have to accept that the opponent has a good period. And in that situation, the organization is the key point. And you can lose your clarity, and just 1 or 2 players can make the difference. So it's still the part of the process, I think. They are learning. They want to improve their level, so it's a good experience.
Despite that, you have remained unbeaten at home all season. How much resolve has that taken for you and your young squad?
It shows our good qualities and our consistency. So it's exactly the opposite that what I said just before. So it's in the proportion. I think we were very good so far. at the same time, we want to play, we want to win more games. So it's, I think it's good for the mentality of the team.
Just finally, do you think your coaching style since you've come here has changed or evolved at all to suit the Championship?
My coaching style, I have 15 minutes to think about this. It's always an evolution, I think, because I'm learning as well. I'm learning, and I want to learn with the players. So different experiences, different staff, because we started with a new staff. Now we have a different setup. So it's a new experience, and I like these new experiences. And I think I'm learning from the beginning until now, and I hope will be the case until the end of the season. The connection is very good, so I really enjoyed the connection with these players because they want to understand the game, they want to play together, they want to solve problems in real time, and this is what I like. So it's really a good period for me.